Favourite Immortal Bliss. In goes None So Spicy, set for a start. They stand well. About to move. Right, going for the first four. They're off. Snow God missed it a half a step, then picked itself up to get going. The first to leave is None So Spicy, and away quickly is Dirty Chai, who's showing dazzling speed. Estimator charging up near the rail. Now Military Power presses forward. When they get going into stride, Snow God next settled in front of the Immortal Bliss, the favourite. Down on the inside next of all is Scully, and back last of all as they come down the side, the roughie, Something Royal. By the 500 they head. Dirty Chai now getting the company of Military Power, and they pair off in front, a length and a half to None So Spicy. Back on the inside, Estimators got through. Snow God a length and a half away behind those, and down the outside comes Immortal Bliss. Dirty Chai is still the leader though. At the 220, Dirty Chai in front, a length clear. Down the outside, Snow God coming, and so's Immortal Bliss. Snow God, Immortal Bliss, they've come together. Pike goes to work on Immortal Bliss, gets a head clear from Snow God. Willie's got the first four, and Immortal Bliss makes it 2 out of 2 in WA. Beat Snow God. Scully, nice effort here at its first run in the West. Picked up third from Military Power. Then Something Royal, followed home by None So Spicy, Estimator, and after being there at the 250 mark, Dirty Chai had capitulated to finish back there at the rear end of the field. Well, there it goes. Win number 4 for the day for William Pike. This is the story of the day. Immortal Bliss, 2 for 2 here in the West, and has beaten home Snow God, waiting for third. Immortal Bliss ran $1.90. Good tactical battle. Snow God might have missed it a half a step, then got going to settle in front of Immortal Bliss. They came together. Down inside the last 150, Pike getting the best out of Immortal Bliss and finishing a bit too strongly for Snow God. Scully, I thought, ran third in front of Military Power. We wait for that number to come to hand. This is an I Am Immortal Gelding, who's now won 4 of 11. 2 for 2 in WA for Grant and Delana Williams, owned by S. Gadiri. And Willie has got the first 4 winners home this afternoon. He really is in brilliant form today, and there's the promise of more to come. He won't ride Fortune's Luck. It's out. He's on True Player in the middle distance race a little bit later on. And what else has Willie got for us this afternoon? Petrushka, and the last he won't be going around in. So he's certainly got a chance to add to the 4 winners that he has so far. He'll take 4, no doubt. Half a length, 1 3/4, 3-8. In fact, the photo for third went to 1 Military Power, just in front of Scully. A nose, the margin between them. Half a length, 1 3/4, a nose. 59.19, 34.29. The last 600 there. So there wasn't much between those 2 Military Power. Scully at the business end of proceedings to race 4. But Immortal Bliss, too good here in taking up the 4th. Runner-up Snow God by Playing God for David Harrison, Brad Parnham. Military Power by Defcon in the art of Jim Taylor, written by Chanel Cooper. And the effort of Scully, certainly one to keep following, possibly in the very near future. Race 5, the Tab Touch West Speed Platinum Handicap, 1300 the distance for the next event. 14 Fortunes Luck is the scratching, and at least another rider gets a chance, with Pike not riding in the next on the program after the first 4 winners have come his way. Let's go downstairs. Here's Tess, following the victory of Immortal Bliss, who has done it again, and looks a nice enough type there to go through some of these grades since coming from the east.
Yes, he's done it again. Apologies there. It's a fantastic result here, Grant. Obviously, second win here in WA, second start.
Yeah, look, we were lucky enough to get this bloke to train. As soon as he got on the place, you just have to look at him to know that he's a nice-looking horse. And his form that he was racing in over in South Australia was probably there was a lot harder races than what he's in now. But we can hopefully take him through his classes, and hopefully there's a nice race for him down the track.
Exactly right. I was just about to touch on that. Looks like one that can go through the grades very well. Where do you look to now? Do you stick at the 1,000?
Look, at the moment, yeah, probably. He's just a little bit hot. He's a big, strong boy, so we work pretty closely with Pikey with this sort of stuff. If he thinks he can get to 12 and there was a race, well, we'll do that. But at this stage, just looking at his manners in that race, I'm quite happy keeping him at 1,000.
Found the line really well there, and as mentioned, looks like a very nice type on your hands. Stable's going well today, 2 from 2. Can we make it another winner in the next?
Well, I think everyone might be in for a bit of a day out on Pikey when he's in this sort of form. You know, anything could happen. That's why they call him the Wizard. So he's still got 2 rides for me. So, look, I do like True Player. I know he's let the punters down the last couple of starts, but we're getting on a better track today and the blinkers go on and the Wizard's on fire.
Fingers crossed, best of luck and congratulations here.
Thanks, mate.
There's Grant Williams combining with Willie Pike. He's just having a quick word with some owners over there, Scotty, but as mentioned throughout the day, he's now gone 4 in a line, and it was a pretty short jockey challenge, I think, the early quad.
It certainly was. In fact, he's ridden the early quad, Willie Pike. You just had to have him in the first 4 legs, and there it is. It's done and dusted, and you can roll into the late quaddie here. But, gee, he's in really good form at the moment, Willie Pike. He's already with 4. I've tipped True Player later on as well. So, unfortunately for him, he's got a scratching in the next. Fortune's luck, but it's obviously good news for the rest of the jockeys' room. They're finally going to break this hoodoo so far here today at Belmont Park. But the sun is out. The horse flesh here that we're seeing is really good. That'll be a nice form reference race. He's a nice horse. Snow God's a nice horse. Scully was a nice WA debut. But Willie joins us now. Immortal Bliss goes 2 from 2 in WA and looks like quite a progressive sprinter.
Yeah, definitely. I said beforehand I wanted to see him do it again today before I was convinced. He's definitely convinced me, not just because he won, but he took a lot of steps our way again. I was worried that that last start would have fired him up and he'd go back to his old ways, but he was really good. He settled well. I was always travelling like a winner, but he had to sprint really hard. They really dropped the gear at the top of the straight, and he had to sustain that sprint to the line, and lucky for me, he did.
So when you say his old ways, what sort of things are we talking about?
It just feels like, if I'm perfectly honest, I haven't watched any of his replays, but I can just feel that he's the type of horse that I think if you clicked him up, he'll grab hold of the bit and charge or flick his head or just... I don't know if it was his old ways or not, but he definitely feels like he was a handful at one stage in his life.
What about those poor connections of Snow God? First up beaten by Terrative, second up beaten by Yorga Pride, third up beaten by Immortal Bliss. All 3 times you and Grant have got him. Yeah,
I said to Brad pulling up, actually, I said, geez, your horse is unlucky, isn't he? But I don't know, I'm just probably, I don't know, I'm happy to get the wins.
Congratulations, well done.
Thanks.
There's William Pike combining with Grant and Alana Williams. Willie Pike takes out the first 4 today, the early quad paying $39.90 there. So if you were on Willie Pike all the way through, congratulations. Not the best of odds there, but Immortal Bliss does take out the key clean handicap over the 1,000 metres. Numbers here in the 4th, 3, 8, 1 and 5. Got Michael Heaton back with me now as we head straight back up to Broome. Michael, Granite Rock taking out race number 4, the Alpha Security handicap over the 16.50.